guys, welcome to another workout. We have a nice, gentle but still strengthening workout today. I've been feeling just a little bit low energy this week, so I wanted something that wasn't going to be too strenuous, but I still wanted to move my body. I'm also 17 weeks pregnant, so this workout will be prenatal friendly. So if you're also expecting a baby, congratulations, and this workout will be safe for you. If you're not expecting a baby, that's absolutely fine. This workout is absolutely still for you as well. So for our warm-up, I have all of my springs on my carriage. I've taken one spring off. So you can either take off your lightest spring for a slightly heavier option, or you can take off your medium spring for a slightly lighter option. So all of your springs, taking off either your lightest spring for harder, or taking off your medium spring for easier. I've also got my box on my carriage in a short box position, so right up against those shoulder blocks. I'm going to come to sit my bum on my carriage, facing the foot bar right up against that box. And I've also just popped my foot bar slightly down to give myself a little bit more space here, so I've not got my knees all the way up to my ears. So you might want to either pop that foot bar slightly down or move your foot bar slightly forward, whatever works for you. From here, we're going to take our heels nice and wide on that foot bar, knees apart. This, if you do have a little bit of a bump, is quite nice just to give that bump a little bit more space. Elbows are on that box. You might want to waterfall your fingers off the edges of that box. Nice deep inhale breath here. And as we exhale, we press evenly through both heels, pushing that carriage to the top. And then inhale to slow return that carriage back down. Exhale to press away. And inhale to slowly come down. Nice. So moving with that breath, first few reps in the full range of motion. Just sussing out how those legs are feeling today, how you're feeling today. If you're not pregnant, you can do this exercise without the box, just lying down flat on your carriage. But I'm using the box today just to elevate myself, to avoid lying down flat on my back for too long. So let's switch up this movement pattern. The next time you exhale, press all the way to the top. Pause here. We're going to inhale this time. Just come down, find your heaviest halfway point. We're going to exhale up an inch. Inhale down an inch. Exhale all the way to the top. Go again. Inhale halfway. Exhale up an inch. Inhale down an inch. Exhale all the way to the top. Keep going like this. So you've just got that half range, a little pulse there each time you get there. And then a nice slow press to the top. Are you still pressing through those heels? Are those toes slightly turned out to the sides of the room? I'm starting to feel this one in my hamstrings. Each time you pulse, try to separate out each pulse with a pause at either end. So you're bringing your carriage to a complete stop each time you get to halfway. You pulse up, complete stop. Pulse down, complete stop. And then exhale to the top. So that's your challenge there. So try not to bounce in that pulse. Keep it nice and slow and controlled. You've got about 3 more here. Making sure we're nice and broad through the chest. One more. moment of respite at the top. We're going to come find halfway once more and hold there this time. So inhale, find that halfway point. Make sure those knees are still tracking out. We're going to go for that small pulse up an inch and down an inch. Keep going like this. Exhale, up an inch, pause. Inhale, down an inch, pause. So we're finishing here, keeping it nice and slow. Keeping those movements super, super small. Just here for about a count of 8. Are you at that true heaviest point of the movement? Should you be a little higher or a little lower down those railings? Nice. Last 5. Keep breathing. Last 4. Last 3. 2. And on 1, you can press that carriage all the way out. Lock out those knees if you like, little flush out for those legs. We're going to come all the way in, dock that carriage at your stopper. Take those legs off your foot bar. You can pop that foot bar back to its upright position now if you did move it. We're going to stay on the same springs. Now I want you to come to kneel on your box facing one side of the room. So your carriage should be quite stable on those nice heavy springs. You're going to bring your right knee first down on that box, just making sure it's nice and in the center of that box, just so we're not going to tip that box forward or back. And then you're going to bring your left leg out nice and long so it rests on that foot bar beside you. So right knee on the box, left foot on that foot bar. Our hips are nice and square, so make sure both our hips are in alignment. We don't have one hip further back or further forward than the other. Same with our shoulders, growing tall through the crown of our spine. Fingertips are going to come to our temples here, and let's go for our side over. So inhale, bend your upper body in towards that well. Exhale, pull through that left oblique to bring yourself upright. Going again. Inhale, side over. And exhale to rise. For the first few, you can bring 2 fingers just onto that oblique between the bottom of your ribcage and the top of your hip bone. And you should be able to feel, as you pull yourself up, a little cinching feeling or a little tightening feeling of that left oblique, just to make sure that you're engaging through the right muscles here to pull you back upright. And then once you're confident, once you've felt that nice cinching, tightening feeling through that left oblique, you know what it's meant to feel like, we can bring our fingertips back to our temples. Lovely. You can start to challenge your range here, so getting a little bit lower into that well, maybe. And maybe adding on our next one, a rotation. So inhale, come into the well, hold here. We're going to rotate the spine, facing into that well. Rotate back through center, and then we exhale to pull ourselves up. Nice. Inhale to lower. Rotate to that well. Exhale back through center and all the way to the top. Nice. So as you go for that rotation, just keep an eye on that left hip. That left hip is staying exactly where it is. The rotation comes from our belly button up. So just make sure, check in with your body on your next one, that top hip isn't rotating around with you. So just making sure we're keeping that work in the oblique in the waist. Nice, few more here for me. Keeping it nice and slow and controlled. So nice if you are pregnant, to work those obliques. as those muscles will help support our bump as we get a little bit bigger. I had my first client ask me if I was pregnant yesterday, so I must be starting to show at least a little bit. Nice, give me 3 more. 2 more, keep breathing here. Still cinching through that left oblique, that left side of your body. And on this last one, let's hold at the bottom. Let's just go for that rotation to the well, back through center, stay low, go again to the well, back through center. Yeah, that's starting to burn. Stay here for 10. Nice deep breaths here for 8. Good job. Keep that left hip where it is. 6. Ooh, nice. 5. 4. Good. You've got 3. On to come through center. Hold here. Pulse. Down and up. Cinching through that left oblique. Down and up. Last push here for that core, for that oblique. Nice. 6. Use your breath to pulse up. 5. Little lower if you can. Good. 4. 3. Nice. 2. And on 1, you can come all the way up. Beautiful job. Nice little side bend. One way. And then the other way, just to stretch out that spine, that oblique. Nice job. While we've got our box here, we're going to go straight on and do the other side, just so it's done. So carefully spin around on that box again, just making sure you're not tipping that box. Keep that knee right in the center. So left knee on the box this time, right foot on your solid platform. Make sure those hips are even, those shoulders are even, grow tall. Fingertips to temples, and then we start to move on this side. Inhale to lower, and exhale up. Nice. Again, 2 fingers on that right oblique, just between your ribs and your hips. Making sure you're feeling that tightening, cinching feeling. Trying to pinch those 2 fingers as you come up. Start to challenge that range. And let's add that rotation. So inhale to the well. Rotate into that well. Back through center. And then all the way up. Good. This time you're thinking about keeping that right hip exactly where it is. Just rotating from the belly button up. Nice, take your time with it here. 5 more like this. Enjoying that nice rotation through the spine. Keep breathing. On our next one, let's hold at the bottom and just go for that rotation through center and to the well. Squeezing through that right oblique. Don't let that right hip move. Good job. Here for 7. Still breathing for 6. Ooh, that's starting to burn for me. Last 4. Last 3. Come back through center on 2. Hold low. We're going to pulse down and up. Last push for that right oblique. Nice job. Tip and lift. Tip and lift. 6. 5. Use that breath to pulse up. 4. 3. Lower. 2. And come all the way up. Well done. Nice push for those obliques. So come carefully off that box again. Just mindful not to tip it from side to side. You can get rid of that box now. Place it maybe behind your machine. And now let's change our springs for a little bit of lower body work. So I'm going to pop on my lightest spring. For me that's a yellow. For you it might be a quarter spring. So one light spring. Let's do our right leg first. So we're on the right side of our machine. Carriage is to our left. Our right leg is going to come nice and close to our carriage, about where that foot bar is. And then our left toes are going to come up against our shoulder block. Find your balance. All your weight should be through that right heel. So that left knee is off your carriage, hips are square to the front of the room, shoulders back. And then we're going to find our glute lunge. So inhale, deep bend through that right knee, dive your chest forward, straighten your back leg. Exhale, press through that right heel, squeeze into that right glute to rise. Again, inhale, dive that chest forward, try straighten that back leg as much as you can. Think stretching the back of that left knee to the ceiling. And then exhale to rise. Nice. So if you need it, 2 fingers can come down to the foot bar here, just for a little bit of balance support. Keeping that knee directly above that ankle. And our hips nice and square. So keep pulling that right hip up and back here. At the bottom of our next one, can we pause? Our lower body stays nice and still. You're going to take a little back extension here. So hinge that chest forward, looking upright. Hinge that chest back down. And then we rise up nice and tall. Go again. Inhale, find that lunge pause. Little back extension can be a really small movement. Take it nice and slow, especially for the first couple. Hinge that chest back down, find a nice flat back, and then come all the way to the top. Nice, so we've added a little bit of time under tension here. We're thinking about being nice and active through that full right leg as we move. So quad, hamstring, and glute all switched on to keep us nice and steady as we go for that little back extension. We've got about 4 more. Remember, 2 fingers on that foot bar is your option. If you just need a little bit of balance support here, totally fine. And work within your body, so if that back extension doesn't feel good, of course, leave it out. Maybe just go for a little hold at halfway instead. 2 more. Whew. Nice, 1 more just like that. So find the bottom, challenge that depth for your last one. Little back extension, tip it forward, and all the way up. We're going to come down for a little finisher, so take a quick little respite at the top if you need. Nice big shoulder roll, weight through that right heel. We're going to find the bottom of our lunge and hold at the bottom. Lovely. So just to hold, we're going to go for 6. Nice deep breaths for 5. On 4, can we start to pulse that carriage down and down. 3, back leg is completely straight. 2, and on 1, find the very bottom of your lunge before you come all the way up to the top. Nice job. We're going to come into a little bit of upper body now after that. So take a seat on your carriage, right ankle over your left thigh, just a little stretch out for that hip flexor. Figure 4 stretch if that feels nice. And you can stay on that one single light spring. So for our upper body, again, we'll work through the right side first. So you're sitting on your carriage, left shoulder to the foot bar, right shoulder to the headrests. If it's comfortable for your hips, find a mermaid seat here. So your right shin is going to come up against those shoulder blocks, and your left shin is about parallel to the front edge of that carriage. Hips are evenly weighted on that machine. If that's not comfortable for your hips, absolutely fine. A couple of options. We can either take a cross-legged seat, totally fine, or you can just have your legs long over the front of that carriage if that's more comfortable. So choose what works for you. I love the feeling of a mermaid seat in my hips, so I'm going to take that option. You're going to reach for your short loop, the one closest to the front of the room, and then that left hand is going to come down on your carriage. We can start with our arm nice and long, elbow about at the same height as that shoulder, and exhale, you're going to bicep curl that strap in. Inhale, release. Exhale, curl, and inhale, release. Notice my elbow is staying at about the same height. So that's your challenge there, is to not let that elbow come down. That takes the work out of the movement. We're going to keep it nice and high. One more there. And then on your next one, let's go for a reach over to that mirror. So exhale, you're going to bicep curl that strap in. You're going to press and reach that strap overhead. A little bit of weight can come into that left arm if you like on that carriage. Inhale, return that press, and then return that bicep curl at the bottom. Exhale, bicep curl, press and reach. Enjoy a nice stretch here down that right side of your body. Inhale, return. A couple more like this. So you can take a little rotation with your neck each time you press, looking down towards that that left hand, if that feels nice for your body. And then I'll give you a little option here. So maybe, if you're feeling strong today, the next time we press and reach, we're going to bring those hips lifted. So bicep curl, as you press towards the foot bar, you're going to press into that left palm, come up onto your knees, pushing those hips forward, and then inhale, return that press as we sink our hips down. So exhale, press and reach, push those hips forward, and inhale all the way down. Lovely. So if that's not there for you today, leave it out, my friends. It's just an option. And if you're finding this just a little bit challenging, we've got our large loop here as well. No shame in taking that lighter option, particularly if it helps you keep good form. So good form is always going to win over a heavier weight or a harder challenge or a harder spring, Lovely. Let's leave out that bicep curl now. Let's just go for those presses. Exhale, press, and inhale, return. Exhale, press, and inhale, return. Can you give me 4 more? 3 more. Enjoying that nice side bend, that stretch through the right side of the body. You've got 2 more. And on your last one, let's hold. Exhale, press that strap away, hold it here. You're either just holding, or if there's anything left in the tank, you can go for a little half range pulse here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and give me 1 more press. before you come all the way down. Beautiful. That large loop back on its post. Left hand to that foot bar and take a nice big stretch out here. So reaching that top right hand over. A little press away with that left hand. And then maybe we bring that top hand down onto the foot bar as well. A little rotation, so rotate your chest towards the springs. If it feels nice, you can melt that chest down towards the springs as well. Little stretch out here, maybe coming up into a little bit of a back bend. Oh, that is nice. You're going to carefully come out. Nice big shoulder roll. Beautiful. We've just got the lunges and those shoulder presses on the other side to go. So come around to the left side of your machine now. Carriage should be on your right, facing the foot bar. Left foot nice and close to your carriage, and right foot up against that shoulder block. Hands on your hips. Find your balance on that left heel. And then on your inhale, we dive that chest forward. Send that right leg long this time. Nice deep bend through that left knee. And then we exhale to rise. Notice how this side feels a little different to the right side. Maybe that left side is your stronger side. Maybe it's your weaker side. Maybe you're feeling a bit fatigued from doing the last side already. So just notice all those little differences. And let's add on that back extension. So the next time you find your lunge, hold at the bottom. Take a small little back extension, test the waters on this side. Hinge that chest forward, find flat back, and then press to the top. Inhale, lunge. Little back extension up and down, and then all the way to the top. Nice, give me a few more like this. So watching that knee stays directly over that ankle. Turn your attention to your left toes on this rep. At the bottom of that lunge, you should still be able to wiggle those left toes. So bring a little bit more weight into your left heel. Nice. We've got about 4 more, so start to challenge the depth. Get down a little lower through that left knee if you can. Can we straighten out that right leg any more? So again, thinking about stretching the back of that right knee to the ceiling. We've just got 2 more, then we'll take a little reset. One more, make it a goodie. Lowest you can go. Nice, guys. Quick little reset at the top before we come into that final hold. A little tap out if you need. Whew. And then last time, let's find the bottom of that lunge and just hold. So you've got a count of 6 here. Nice and low through that left knee. Here for 5, straighten out that back leg. Can we pulse to finish? 4, 3, get lower each time, down and down, 2, and 1, all the way to the top. Well done. Ooh. Take a seat on your carriage and give yourself that left hip flexor stretch. So left ankle over right thigh this time, little lean forward. If you come up to the toes on that bottom foot, you'll feel that stretch a little deeper as well, if that helps. Couple deep breaths here, nice work. One last push for that upper body. We've got our single yellow on. We're going to spin around to face the other direction, so we can do our left arm. Left shin up against your shoulder blocks, right shin parallel to the front edge of that machine. Remember, you've got your cross-legged seat or just your legs off the front if you prefer. Right hand on that carriage, left hand grabs that short loop, or feel free to go straight for that large loop. Go for your bicep curls, so exhale to curl and inhale to return. Check that elbow is about in line with your shoulder. Nice, can we press and reach on this one? Exhale, curl, press and reach towards that football. Nice stretch down the left side of that body. And return on your inhale. Exhale, curl, press and reach. Inhale to return. Lovely. So maybe looking down towards your right hand as you press that strap overhead. And maybe on your next one, we bring those hips high if that was there for you on your last side. So exhale, curl. This time as you press and reach, can you bring a little bit of weight into that right hand? Push those hips forward. And then inhale all the way down, hips lower. Exhale, press and reach. Inhale all the way down. Lovely. Can we leave out that bicep curl now? So make this your last bicep curl. We're just going to go for that press and reach. I'm going to swap into my large loop. Feel free to do the same. Press and reach. And just back to that goalpost position. Exhale, press and reach. And inhale to lower. Good job for 6. Use that breath. 5. Little pause each time you get to the top. You've got 4. If you need a little reset, take it now. We're going to come straight into that final hold. Good. On our next one, we're going to hold at the top. So give me one more. Exhale, press and reach. Hold here. Keep reaching those fingertips long. If there's anything left in the tank, you can go for that half range pulse. Otherwise, just holding that arm long. 5. Keep breathing. 4. Last push. Dig deep. 3. Nice. 2. And 1. Give me one more press to the top. Whew. All the way down. Beautiful. Nice, guys. So I have one last little exercise for you. So we're going to let's put all our springs on just to keep that carriage nice and docked. So we're going to come into a hip bridge here. Make sure that foot bar is in its standard upright position and that headrest is nice and flat. Now in our hip bridge, we are going to be lying down on our backs. If you are pregnant, please be really mindful with this one. If you do feel dizzy or lightheaded at any point, come out of that supine position immediately. Sit back up or roll onto your side. I am still comfortable on my back, so this exercise works for me. It might not work for you. So just keep that in mind, but it is a really good one to strengthen our glutes and our core as well while we're pregnant. So I do still really like this exercise. Hands are going to come down flat on our machine. Heels are on our foot bar about hip distance apart. You've got a neutral spine, so a little pocket of air underneath our lower back. We're going to exhale, press our lower back into that carriage, start to tilt our pelvis, peel that tailbone, our lower back, middle back, and upper back off that carriage. And then inhale, slowly return that spine all the way down. Think about your vertebra placing down on that carriage one at a time. Exhale to lift. And inhale to lower. Really focusing on that nice spinal articulation here. If you'd like to make this a little bit more challenging, we can take away that base of support. So reaching our fingertips to the ceiling, palms face in. Beautiful. Couple more here. Squeezing into those glutes. And working to keep those hip bones nice and even as we press up high. Nice. So at the top of our next one, let's hold. Push those hips to the top. Hold it here. We're going to inhale, come down halfway, and exhale, press those hips to the top. Inhale down halfway. Exhale, squeeze those glutes to the top. This is you to finish, just a little core and glute finisher. So exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, lower. Just a little movement here. Keep it nice and slow here for 10. Use that breath. Nice job. You've got 7. You've got 6. On 5, can you press those hips high and hold them lifted? Squeezing into those glutes, hips are even. Reach those fingertips for the ceiling if there's anything left in the tank. 4, a little higher if you can. Keep squeezing those glutes. 3, 2, and 1. Vertebrae by vertebrae, come all the way down. Nice work. All right, team, that is you done. Take any last stretches that you'd like before you go about the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed that. I am feeling so much more energized after I kind of forced myself to get through that one. Sometimes you have to, but well done, you did amazing. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.